I'm going to come at this a couple of different ways. I like to make you think, I like to challenge you, so here goes. The business side of the Arch Manning passing problems, and I'm going to hand out a compliment. For me, for sure, it's a rare compliment. And it's a rare compliment. I'm not even sure the last time I handed out a compliment like this, but I think it's well-deserved, and I think it needs to be pointed out. It's a breath of fresh air in a world of dorks who do nothing but say the same stuff. It's a compliment to a group that honestly rarely deserves a compliment. So give it a chance. The Arch Manning storyline is this. And remember, this is not about his bad play necessarily. The most famous name in college football at the most glamorous program, backed up by the most money, who starts the year as the most talked about player of the past 50 years, at least, has turned in nothing but shockingly bad and borderline, I'm not even sure it's a borderline, incompetent performances, and gets booed at home after 9 straight incompletions. So that's the setup. That's the storyline. Now forget the on-field part of this drama for now. Follow 2 issues. You know this probably by now. It's the way I operate. It's the way I think. I think strategically almost all the time on everything, particularly when it comes to business issues. Number 1, have you thought of this? Surely when you watch a Texas game, you notice the number of commercials with Arch Manning. He is a market of one in the college sports business. Okay? Don't think every player is worth $10 million in terms of endorsement deals. There's one that is. The commercial investment and how it might be backfiring and how it might be, it's got to play itself out, but how it might be bad news for other star college players. The market of one could be wrecking the market. And number 2, I don't know of any other way to say it. A public relations masterclass by Arch Manning's coach. So in college sports, everyone is sick of the name, of the terms. For all the talk about name, image, and likeness, there's really not much of a market in the endorsement world for college players. The only sizable market is really social media influencers. And that's largely attractive women. So on the male side of college sports, Arch Manning is a market of one. It's just not worth your investment. There's not enough famous players that are recognizable enough that tell a story well enough, like him. His famous name, famous program, good smile, famous relatives. That's why Red Bull, that's why Waymo, that's why Viore, that's why Canes are all in. Obviously, these advertisers, if you've watched Texas play, you've noticed this. You have to. They want you to notice. That's the point. They're buying his games, all of them, including the games against no-name programs like San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston State. Don't know exactly what to believe, but it's reported that he's making about $6 million in endorsement revenue. Okay? Now, keep that in mind. 3 games into a season in which he is far away the Heisman favorite. The topic is about how he's played. And that discussion is how shockingly bad he's been. Are they getting their money's worth? Now, before you do this simple thing and say, well, it's exposure, Jeff, but it goes deeper than that. Listen, when you go and hire a person to endorse your products, you're looking for a few things. You're looking, one, for a fit, right? I mean, you're using that person to cut through the clutter, right? You're using that person so people pay attention. And when they pay attention, you want them to instantly apply credibility to the product. That's the point. Tiger Woods has a Nike golf ball. He wins tournaments. It's credibility to the product. Tiger Woods doesn't make the cut. It's a ridiculous example, I know. The golfer you're paying starts where he doesn't make the cut. Not only is he not cutting through the clutter, it's not credible. And it does matter. It's exactly what they study all the time. If they want a good-looking young guy who's successful to sell expensive athletic wear, they need the good-looking young guy to be successful. If the storyline is backfiring, it's not a good buy. It doesn't mean business is going to be ruined, but it's not necessarily the investment is not doing what you think. So are they getting their money's worth? It's when I watch stuff, just because how I'm trained and it's what I've done for a long time. I mean, I watch the science of media. And you can't, and I'm telling you, this is a real issue. I'm not saying they pull out. I'm not saying they don't pay the guy. I'm not saying he doesn't get any better. It can't get any worse, honestly. Surely he'll get better. Let's put it that way. But the business side of this, by the end of the year, if the answer is he's middle of the pack in the SEC, okay, and that might be the truth, or worse, okay, he gets benched. The question will be, is it too risky to bet on a college football player like this, right? It seemed like a safe bet. All the stuff on the front end was set up. He just needed to play well. Like, think of hiring someone to do endorsements like a billboard. You need people to pay attention. You need them to want to pay attention. And then you need them to believe the person pitching the product. If you're benched, it hurts. What I'm saying is, and I don't know yet how it plays out. I don't know. But one interesting part of this is he's a market of one. Just male college athletes are not getting this kind of money except for one guy. They're just not worth it. People don't pay enough attention. You don't care enough. That name you do. And they study that stuff. Well, what happens if this doesn't work? What happens if they look up and go, well, yeah, we thought we were buying a rock star and the rock star was going to do really well. We bought a rock star. What if the rock star is just meh? Or worse, not meh? It may change the economics of where that business goes for male athletes. I think on the female side, they're still going to go and pay influencers. It's just a weird, quirky way of looking at it. But remember, if you pay someone to endorse your products, you need them to be credible. You need the success story. You don't pay them a lot of money to be middle of the pack or meh. Okay? The other part, the compliments. And I think this is almost a one-off in the business of college sports. That is how this is playing out publicly by Texas and by Steve Sarkisian. Okay? He's chosen not to pull Arch Manning yet. And, I think there's a number of reasons for that. There's no reason to panic. You don't want to you don't want to lose the guy, that kind of stuff, right? But unless things change, it is a possibility. Somewhere down the road, every coach, no matter what name is on the jersey, you owe it to your entire team to give them the best chance to win. And if you think the guy with the ball in his hands is going to cost you, you've got to pull him. That's not a problem yet. It's possible. Here's the compliment to Steve Sarkisian. The reason why this stands out to me, I'm curious if you react the same way. Most coaches, and just this past week, there's plenty of examples, but most coaches act like Brian Kelly at LSU or Dabo Swinney at Clemson. Almost all of them act like that. And I'll give you examples. They whine, they complain, they push back against fans and media anytime they perceive a slight. Brian Kelly, who seems to be a hothead who might have the best team in college football, just issued an apology because he walked into a news conference and snapped at a reporter that asked him about his offense. And that's the norm in college football. They have a bunker mentality. They're entitled. They're kind of bullies in a lot of ways, and people let them get away with stuff. And so if they perceive any critics at all, they are whiny and they get snippy and they push back as if to say, how dare you approach me that way? Tell me you haven't noticed that. You should have. They're thin-skinned, beyond thin-skinned. I think they're obnoxious in how they treat critics. I really do. Most college coaches have that mentality. You should worship us. And I know they don't say this and they would get mad at me, but I think they're a bunch of crybabies and they make a lot of money. How dare you attack these kids? With what they really mean is, how dare you attack me? That's what they mean. Props to Steve Sarkisian for getting it, for not acting like them. Obnoxious, thin-skinned crybabies who want to act like professional football, but then don't like it when people treat them like professional football. Right? You can't. This is what's ridiculous about college coaches and about some people. I get sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, they're just kids, or it's just college football. You don't act like it. You sure do make money like pro football. You want the money like pro football, and you charge the consumer like pro football, so shut your trap. You can't have it both ways. So they should be treated just like that. And they expect fans and media to treat them like the local high school team. Right? So my attitude has always been, if you want the big stage, you accept what comes with the big stage. Own what comes with it. Steve Sarkisian did it. I can't think of another time that I've said about a college coach, well, that's a breath of fresh air. Way to own it, man. Way to take it. Way to roll with it. Way to not snap back at everyone. It's funny. I think he said almost exactly what I said yesterday on this show. Okay? So here's the clip. Here's the setup. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. And there's a reason why I'm giving him props. Because I do think this goes a long way. I do think people kind of appreciate it. Should appreciate this. I mean, he could have gone the other way. He could have acted like Dabo Swinney, who spends most of his time. Here's what pisses me off about college coaches. They spend a lot of their time saying, I don't care about critics, and then they rant for 20 minutes about the critics. Doesn't bother me. I don't read that stuff. Then they spend the next 20 minutes telling you exactly what was said. It's absurd. Okay. The horrible Texas UTEP game. Arch Manning has now thrown 9 incompletions and an interception against the team UTEP that is 121 out of 136, and I believe they're 96 in total defense.
Hey Steve, you built this program in 27-6 over the next 3 seasons out, but you hear booing in the first half. We asked Michael Tapp about that, and he said,
I'll play the booing first.
I think that's what needs to happen. That one could have been picked off, deflected at the line of scrimmage. And this offense will head back to the bench, and Texas will have to punt it away.
And you see hands up in the face. It's a quick, easy throw.
Okay. I mean, it's not that severe, trust me. But I think my response was, hey, look, man, it's 95 degrees. You're paying $400 for a ticket, $9 for a bottle of water. You expect a good product, and the product you're getting is awful. It's a miserable experience. The show's not very good. How would you expect people to react? That's what I said. Most college coaches, when asked about it, or probably would have started the news conference snapping back, condemning people, acting as if they're royalty, and trying to bully everyone into not even asking the questions. And it would have been the usual, right? Had this been most other college coaches, they would have done that. Well, we don't appreciate it. You know, these kids do the best they can. And how dare you treat them how dare you treat him like he's Dak Prescott and blah, 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 blah. That's what you would hear 99% of the time. And it's lame. It's lame. You're in pro football. Shut up and own it. Steve Sarkisian owned it. And he rolled with it the best you can.
But you hear booing in the first half. We asked Michael Tapp about that, and he said, you got to give them a reason to cheer. What's your message to the fan base that showed its frustration?
Yeah, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, I think that we've set a standard around here of the way we play football, and there's an expectation from our fans about the way we play football. It's fast, it's physical, it's tough, it's smart, it's exciting, and at times we didn't play that way this weekend. And I think at the end of the day, they're spending money. They're coming to games, they're sitting in the heat. They want to make sure we give them something to give them a reason to be there, and so that's not the only reason we're all there. We're obviously there for as a team, our own goals, our own aspirations, what we're not only trying to do on that Saturday, but for the duration of this season. But also, man, our fans offer so much support to us. That it clearly, if they were booing about the way we were playing, just imagine how we were feeling about the way we were playing at some of that juncture in the first half. So understandable, but again, don't give up on us too quick. I think we got a pretty good team.
Well played. Thanks for being mature and honest and not a whiny crybaby in an industry full of whiny crybabies. Own it. Hell, the players even own it. It's a good message to send, too, by the way. It's a perfectly reasonable message to send to your team. You're not a bunch of teenagers playing high school football. You want to get paid? You want to drive a Lamborghini? Deal with it, man. That was his own polite way of saying, can't really blame him, right? It's a breath of fresh air. And just remember, put that as a backdrop to stuff you've already seen this week from Brian Kelly. LSU won a game. And I get that he's just so desperate. It's like, all the stuff we say about narcissists online, a lot of times college coaches act like that. Please worship me. Please worship me. Well, don't you worship me? Don't you understand how great I am? I'm making $12 million a year. And this guy, Brian Kelly, loses his mind at a reporter. How dare you ask me that kind of thing? And today he apologized. Just be more like Steve Sarkisian on this. Own it. Own up to it. Shrug your shoulders and just play better. Hey, here's a recommendation backed up by my own experience, a great experience. And that is, I've been a client of DJC Law, and I can tell you this. You're going to get three things with DJC Law. You'll notice it right away. The difference is you will get peace of mind. They will take care of every single detail perfectly, and you will get the result you deserve. If you're injured by the negligence of someone else, fighting with an insurance company for any reason, trust me when I tell you, you will need DJC Law. Dan Christensen and his team of attorneys have a remarkable track record. I've known Dan a long time. He's a military vet. He's board certified in civil trial law, and I've been a client. So you can trust them. You will get the result you deserve. Check out teamjustice.com, and you'll see thousands of 5-star reviews. The bottom line is, if you're in an accident, you need DJC Law. Contact them right away. 512-888-9999.